tell you now just who they are. Listen to their stories and how they tell when they joined and how they're doing so well. Telling us what it's all about today and how they are loving that own passive way. On passive, here today on passive, there's no better way. Listen to the Julie and the Milo show, so then you can be the very first to know. On passive, it's a here today. Julie and Milo show is coming your way on passive.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today is November 22nd, 2021. Welcome to the Julie and Milo show. My name is Julie Nguyen. I'm coming to you from Orange County, California. My lovely friend Milo is coming from the other side of the country. Milo, could you please say hello?
Hey, how you guys doing? It's Milo from Nashville, Tennessee.
Thank you, Milo. Milo, we're getting so close to Thanksgiving. In a few days here in the United States, we are celebrating Thanksgiving. And I think it's a great season to actually think of the things that have happened in our life. And I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for giving me the best gift of life, which is ONPASSIVE. And within ONPASSIVE, we do have such a beautiful community of people around the world. And I'm thankful for that as well. And we all know today we are having a special guest coming join us today. And without further ado, let's bring him on the show.
All right, Julie. Well, I'm thankful for you also because you've made my team a lot better, and we've had fun doing it. And every day we get to visit with founders, and no different than today, but a special one today. This guy is a presenter and a half, man. I love his presentation style. It's none other than Mr. David Andjelic. Dave Andjelic, come on out, brother. Hey, how you doing, Dave? It's so good to have you on the show this morning.
Absolutely. Hello, David. Good to have you here. And I know I called you David, but hello, Dave. Good to have you here. And thank you for being here with us.
You can call me whatever you want, darling.
You're so sweet. You're so sweet. Thank you.
Julie, I certainly appreciate the invitation.
All right, Dave. Me and Julie say we're the most blessed people in the world. We get to talk to founders every day, and you're one of them. So, hey, we like to know a little bit more about the founders. So, who is Dave Andjelic? Where was he born? How about his mom and dad, his siblings, and his family now? Tell us a little about that.
Sure. Well, I'm originally from Medicine Hat. My mother and father, my mother's name is Ruby, and she is the shining jewel of our family. And she's 91 years old, and we're lucky to have her. And my father passed away a couple of years ago, and he was an immigrant from Eastern Europe. So, that's part of my background. And I have two brothers, one older and one younger, and a sister that is younger than me. And for my family, well, it's kind of just me right now, and all my brothers and sisters and their kids and grandkids. So yeah, I'm blessed to have a great family.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Dave, for sharing that with us. I've read your bio and I've seen so many interesting things that you have done. You in 40 years plus in the business career, 15 years of food industry. I mean, you've traveled to Europe. You spent 9 months in Europe. Please tell us, take a few minutes and tell us what are the things that you want us to know, because it's a long list that you have here. Pick one or two, please share with us.
Well, one of the things that in my business career that I was very, very lucky is that I was able to have my dream job. And when I was back in the food and drug business, I was with a multinational company, and I was stationed in Winnipeg. And at that time, they had a downsizing of the company, and they slashed 2,500 jobs worldwide. And unfortunately, one of them was mine. But at that time, they allowed us to have a career counselor. And I remember talking to him, and he said, well, what is your dream job? And I said, well, I always wanted to work in sports. And so a number of years later, 3, 4, 5 years later, it was that I got that opportunity. I got to move back to my hometown in Medicine Hat, and I joined the Medicine Hat Tigers Hockey Club of the Western Hockey League. And I gave them a promise of 2 years to help them get things settled. And so 2 years turned into 24 years. So I never left Medicine Hat. My plans were to go back into, into the big corporate world, but I came home and I got settled, and my family was here. I got to see my mom and dad grow to the age that they are, and so that I think is probably one of the highlights of what I've done.
Wow. And I see you got a lot of hobbies. You fish year round, you open water and ice fishing. You like ice fishing? It's cold, man.
That's Canada for you.
Man.
It makes you tough being in that cold weather.
Yeah, do you have a shanty?
Yeah, I do, but I prefer actually to sit outside.
Yeah, I know up in Michigan, a lot of them guys got shanties, man, and they're just like motel rooms or whatever.
Yeah, it's amazing what some of the shacks are on the ice there. Yeah, you're right. It's like a luxury hotel for sure.
It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. All
Well,
right. Back to you.
I see that you love action movies. What kind of action movies do you watch?
Well, I just watched the new James Bond last week, and it was the first time I'd been to a movie theater in probably 3 years. So it's that type of movie. The spy stuff, the fun, yeah.
Me too. So without even give any details, did you like it? Was it like awesome, or was it like?
It was very good. It was very good.
It was good. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
I think Daniel Craig was one of the best Bonds beside Sean Connery.
Right. Well, that's great. I'm looking forward to see it. Anyway, Dave, we are here because of ONPASSIVE, and many of us here do know that ONPASSIVE is a blessing, is a gift for all of us. And I know that you are a very active leader in ONPASSIVE as well, and especially you are an active presenter in the Julie and Milo show. When you've decided to do it, you take your whole time, effort, and you went in and you finished all the presentations that Milo have prepared for all of us. So please tell us a little bit about your ONPASSIVE journey. When did it start? How did you hear about it? And what made you take the action to become a founder and then do what you do and show up to every webinars and, take the invitation to like, okay, I'm going to do the presenter series? It's a long, lengthy questions, but yes, please tell us.
Well, when COVID hit, it turned the automotive industry upside down, and that's what I was doing at the time. And again, it was the second time in my career that I found myself not having a job. So that was March 22nd of 2020. So I've dibbled and dabbled online for a number of years, and like everybody else, you don't make any money, but you spend a lot of time on it. And so I decided I wanted to find something new, but I wanted to find something that was going to allow me to bring people with me instead of recruiting people and nothing happens. I did that in a couple of businesses where you get 100, 200 people and they don't do anything. But so I was looking, and I was online, and I came across a video that was done by a fellow out of Texas, and I watched his video, and then there was a link in there to get more information. And then I saw the 2 videos that Ash did early on, and once I saw that, I went, you know what, I think this is what I'm looking for. And so I joined up that day, and you know, the rest is history. And it's just been, you know, I wanted, one thing I liked about being in other companies is that I made some real good friends there. And that's a part that I really enjoy about ONPASSIVE, is all the people that you get to meet. So you know, I just dug in and I started attending the webinars and listening to Red and to Marty and to Chris, and coming to your guys' show, and you know, as many as I could. And you know, one thing with what I do now is my driving gig is that it allows me plenty of time to stay engaged. You know, while I'm driving, I'm listening to the various webinars and shows and that, so I can kind of stay on top of it, and then I can move that on to my small team.
Right. What kind of impact has ONPASSIVE have made in your life to this point?
Well, I think, you know, it definitely coming in, I was looking for income. And you know, we have that in spades. That's taken care of. That's not a worry anymore. But the humanitarian side of things, you know, the big hearts that I see here of people and what they want to do, and all the different programs and people that they want to help, you know, that to me is huge. I've got my list of things that I want to do, you know, once we get rolling, as of does most of the founders, you know, that we have here in ONPASSIVE.
Absolutely. And I have two more questions. The first one is that, what made you take the action to say, I'm going to become a presenter for the Julie and Milo show? Not only that, you did all the presentation on your own. What come through at that time when you decided, I'm going to do this and I'm going to put it out there to share that to people?
Well, the thing is, I've never done anything like that before. So I wanted to take the opportunity to do it. And you know, Milo, I know how much time it takes for you to record everything and then edit it and get it all ready to go. So I have some of those skills in a small way. So I decided, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to try to give Milo a break, and I'll do my own editing and that. So yeah, and I just thought, you know, it's a new experience. I was seeing other people do it, and I thought, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it. So yeah, that's basically the reason that I did it, and you know what, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Absolutely. And yes, you make Milo happy too. He got some time to take some more naps.
I need it.
Yes. All right. The last question for me is that, you know, this week in the US is the Thanksgiving week. And I know that there is something for all of us to be grateful for. If Mr. Ash was to listen to this video, what would you say to him?
Well, Ash, you know, I am absolutely thankful for what you and all of the people in India have done, and the work that you put into this. And you know, it's evident that you're not doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for the 1 million+ people that we do have here in ONPASSIVE, and for that, and what it's going to do for me and my family and the projects that I'm interested in. You know, I can't say thank you enough for what you've done for us.
All right, Dave, I love your heart. I love your passion. And I've loved all you did for ONPASSIVE. You really stepped up to the plate in a big way. And, you know, like Julie was talking about, you know, you actually do your own presentations and you send them over to me. It cuts down my time a lot. I appreciate that very much. I do every now and then get a nap in, you know, but I need those, you know, I'm getting old, I guess. But anyway, and thanks for what you said about Ash blessing us. I feel the same way. And, you know, when we first come into this, and you know, we come into it, and I remember the quote by Ash. Ash said, I might not be able to change the world, but I can change somebody's world. And then I said, hey, ONPASSIVE is changing the world one person at a time. And it started with Ash McFarl. Now you put those two quotes together, and it's a big accomplishment that we are going to do to this world. I mean, on the humanity, you talked about the humanity side, because when we first talked to founders, it's like, what is it going to do for me? And then all of a sudden our heart and our mind gets more where Ash is, and we realize it's much bigger than that. This is about humanity. This is how we're going to help the world. This is things we're going to do. So I got two questions for you. Number one is, what are the apples going to do for you, Mr. Dave, Andjelic, and the family, you know, personally? And the second one is, what are your other goals that you have, charities or helping people, and how are you going to succeed at that, or what are you going to do with that?
Well, personally, you know, I think like most everybody, it's gonna pay bills, right? It's gonna take that day-to-day worry away from us. And you know, with my family, what I've done is I've got multiple accounts, and I'm putting a couple of them aside just for my nieces and nephews. They're all gonna share in this, and also I've been able to get a couple of accounts for people less fortunate than myself that, you know, I've come in contact with. Some are family, some aren't. That, you know, they're going to have an account. Other than that, on the charity side, unfortunately, Medicine Hat, we're a community of 60,000 people. In the last couple of years, we've had a real rash of suicides in the male population in between the 30 and 40 years of age, and you know, it's reaching double-digit figures. And there was a foundation that was started. It's called the Inner Man Project, and it's to help people, men and women, that suffer from depression and mental illness and things like that. And I've experienced that, so that's something that I really want to help with. And if I can do that in a financial way to keep the project running, that's certainly something I want to do. I was very lucky when I was with the hockey team that I worked with a lot of different charities, helping them raise money at the games and things like that we supported. So one of those was Big Brothers Big Sisters, you know, helping the kids that are from single parent families. And you know, that's a big part of it. And I want to also try to put in a fishing component to that, where if I want to try to get a bunch of fishermen together where we take kids out fishing and teach them to fish. And yeah, I think if I get working on all of that, that's going to keep me busy for a while.
Oh, that's an awesome idea, you know. And with the fishing thing, the cool thing is you can actually set it up where you have a spot, and you have each of the fishermen buy a spot underneath you, and then you guys will have more than enough to take those kids wherever you want to and do whatever you want to. There's just so many potentials with ONPASSIVE, you know, when you buy a spot and then you let it build, and it's not like you're giving the money to them, you're giving them a spot that's going to continually generate money over and over and over. Beautiful thing about ONPASSIVE, the giving part.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that's the thing. It's one thing to give somebody the money, but the other thing is if you can teach them and show them how to run this simple business for themselves, it's just, I think there's just so many more rewards doing it that way, you know. So
absolutely. I mean, even if you think of Big Brothers and Big Sisters, you know, if you have a spot called Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and every time you get money in it, you take that out and you give it to someone that you know, that needs it. I think they work with like little smaller children, right?
yes, yeah,
So you could give them a spot, and you know, the cool thing is, even if they don't do anything with it, it still blesses you and it blesses them, because it has to, because of the success that's, you know, that's going to happen with ONPASSIVE. Because it doesn't matter if you're in, you win. That's the statement. You know, if you're in, you win. That's all people's got to know. But I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't think the same thing, but I think once that people start seeing money drop into that wallet, they're going to tell other people about it. And once they tell other people about it, it grows your team, it grows their team, and it's just a wonderful thing to be able to give to someone and they're actually giving back to you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because I think anything that we do with ONPASSIVE is that when other people get blessed, it blesses us, right? The person who introduced them to it, in whatever way you wanna look at it. But yeah, absolutely. And you're right, Milo. I mean, how many times have you? Well, I talked about the movie today. How many times have you told somebody about a restaurant that you like? The word of mouth with this is going to just fly.
Absolutely, it's a beautiful thing, and even like Julie, mentioned that she was thankful that I gave her the gift.
Mhm.
But the truth of it is, the gift she gave back to me is huge. It's
Right.
bigger than what I gave her. I gave her just a seed, and she's turning it back into fruits. For me and for her. So it's it's a win-win-win-win-win situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed is, I think we all know Polly Cherry.
Yeah.
And Polly is in Calgary, which is just 3 hours up the road from me. So, I've struck up a friendship with her, and we've been able to meet with some of the founders in Calgary, which was fabulous. And that's the kind of thing that when you're getting into business, you don't always think of. And it's certainly a big benefit that I've enjoyed.
Absolutely.
And it's actually beautiful how so many of us get together and get to know each other, and it's all started with ONPASSIVE. It's very cool. Milo, I know you have a couple more, or a few more, or one more.
Well, I was going to say that, Julie. I was saying for that $97, what we've got in return is incredible. We know people all over the world, and really, I think it's Cedric says, I travel all over the world, and I don't even have to pack a suitcase. And that is the truth, and we meet so many people, and we could travel around the world and have people in different spots that know us, and go over there and get to know the culture, get to know the country. It's incredible the value that is packed into ONPASSIVE. It's much bigger than just ONPASSIVE. It's more family. I can't even tell you what I think, because it just blows my mind how much value we get out of it. Back to you, Julie.
Absolutely. Dave, I know I've never asked this question with any of guests that coming in, so I'm just going to ask it anyway. When I'm going to use the word money, when the money hitting your wallet, right? Doesn't matter what the amount, what would be the first thing that you will buy? For example, to me, when it hit my wallet, I want to go buy a nice pair of sunglasses just to cool off my eyes, right? So that's as little as just a pair of sunglasses. So wanted to ask you, what would be the first thing that you would spend for you?
Well, I've already thought about this, and you're gonna maybe think it's silly, but I want to buy new bath towels. Because I've got some ratty old ones there that need to be replaced. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just as simple as bath towels or sunglasses. What would you buy, Milo?
Man, I don't even know. I'd probably go get me something to eat.
Something healthy, something good?
I don't know about healthy. Well, I should be, right?
You should. Otherwise, you have an earful from me.
That's true.
Dave?
Well, Milo, I'll let you know my favorite food group is ice cream.
Oh, mine too. I love ice cream, man. That'll get me every time. It ain't
Okay,
good.
now you guys are talking about ice cream. What flavor? Dave?
I like the chocolate vanilla swirl.
Ooh, what about you, Milo?
I like a Snickers Blizzard.
Oh, wow.
Or a peanut butter Blizzard. Either one of them will work.
Wow. Oh, I just have the simple espresso, just the coffee ice cream just makes me happy. Boring. Milo was like,
That definitely won't be on my list. Not even down the list away.
well, make sure when I do visit you, please keep a container there. Dave, thank you so much for joining us today. Any last words, Dave?
Well, anybody who is viewing this that is not a founder, please consider it. Get in, you will win. We have a great family here to help you move along through the journey, and yeah, just get in.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Milo, any last words from you, Milo?
Yeah, thanks, Dave, for joining us today. And any of you that haven't seen Dave's presentations, man, go look at them on the Julie and Milo show. Yours are great videos, and I encourage anyone, if they want to use them, man, send them out, listen to him. He does a great job with it. Thank you so much for joining on Passive and being friends with the Julie and Milo show.
My pleasure.
Back to you, Julie.
Absolutely. Dave, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being a presenter of the Julie and Milo show. It's very true. Everyone, if you haven't listened to the presentation, or if you haven't shared a presentation to anyone, Dave Andjelic has a beautiful playlist in the Julie and Milo show. All you got to do is go to our channel and click on playlist, and you'll be able to see his whole playlist there. It's best to keep these handy, because if you are talking to someone, a musician, a singer, or a teacher, or a charity, I mean, you have it handy to share. And remember, the Julie and Milo show, we don't put personal link on there. All you got to do is share the video at your personal link, or have them get back to you, just so that you have something handy to share with the people that you talk to every day. So thank you so much, Dave Andjelic, for being here with us, everyone. That's Dave Andjelic's story. I hope you enjoy it, and we do hope that you are enjoying the Julie and Milo show's founders interview, and also all the materials that we put out there to you. If you haven't become a subscriber of Julie and Milo show, please click the button subscribe and the bell, just so that everything that we do put out there, you get them right away. And especially look forward to the daily inspiration by Curtis David. He's put it out every single day, evening, and you'll get to see them in the morning. Don't forget, because those are very inspiring. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Julie and Milo show today. We do hope that you stay well, stay healthy, and be thankful. There is something to be grateful for. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Good night from Orange County, California.
Good night from Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada.
Good night from Nashville.
Listen to the stories and how they tell.